Happy New Year! Welcome to 2026. If this is your first time on this page, I am excited that you decided to stop by. And even if you only give me a few seconds of your time, at some point, I hope that this becomes valuable to you and that you revisit and that you share. My name is Latoya Logan, and I am the founder and principal of the Human Architect Studio. Now, prior to 2026, I had been working under Weekly Lift, under my other consulting business, Project Lift Consulting. I also am founder and CEO of another organization, Project Lift Services, that provides behavioral health treatment and prevention services to Black males 14 and over in Cleveland, Ohio. And you know, when you start something, you're kind of like, you love what you started. So I started Project Lift. The lift is meaningful to me. Learn, ingenuity, fortitude, triumph. Those are the values that lead Project Lift Services. And when I started to flesh out my consulting business, I kind of stayed with Project Lift Consulting. And in the last year, I've just been examining that and came to understand that I needed to separate those two businesses, that the gift for Project Lift Services is to own the lift, the values associated with that, and that my consulting business needed to be separate and really focus on the work that I am doing in the space for training, for program development, for keynotes and all those different things. So if you've been here before and you're like, well, what's all this new stuff? It really is something I worked on all 2025, and then in December had an opportunity to fully invest in making that change. So Project Lift Consulting, it's no longer Project Lift Consulting, it's Human Architect Studio. And the purpose of that is I really believe that we have to be architects of our lives. And that means that we are in charge. We set the vision, we set the focus, we decide how we're going to respond to unexpected and to expected things. And we have to be in a place for creativity. And so studio just makes really good sense for what we're trying to do. Every single human being is struggling with, am I where I need to be? Am I on the right course? Am I making the right decisions? Am I in the right relationships? Am I just doing this thing in the most effective way that I can? And so Human Architect Studio is about helping people, communities, and organizations really tap into the resources necessary to do effective and measurable evaluation, to set strategies that make sense with your current life's context, whether you're a single parent or you yourself are running multiple businesses, or you're in school and working, or you're dealing with medical illness. We need to make sure that our goals and our aspirations don't work against what we're already experiencing in life. And so I really wanted to rebrand to lift that part up. As I said, if this is your first time coming here, I am a licensed independent social work supervisor. I'm a trauma therapist. I'm a restorative justice practitioner. I'm an anti-oppressive practitioner. I really love working with people. I've dedicated my entire life to doing so. And this is just another opportunity for me to give what I have received. So we've done wellness series in the past. I encourage you to check out those videos because all of that information is vital for today. I mean, I still revisit so much of what I've covered, and I encourage you to. There's a series on trauma. There's a series on joy. There are just countless tips and strategies that you can incorporate in your life on this page. And so for 2026, I was really thinking about people and New Year's resolutions. And when we're making New Year's resolutions, the first thing we want to do is cut off everything and start over, or stop doing 1,000,001 things and start doing 1,000,001 things. And it really is more a reflection of how we exist in relationship to ourselves, with autonomy, whether or not we feel empowered, and also our relationships with others. Are we in meaningful friendships or intimate ships? Do we have family support? Is our social network supportive of where we're trying to go? Are we in a place where we're working and we feel like our career aligns with our values? Do we like what we do? Do we like where we live? Do we like how we socialize? And so when I started to think about all these things, it reminded me of a social media post I saw probably 4 months ago. And the post was talking about relationship ruptures and how we have to stop focusing on cutting things off and really focus on repairing those things. And I was really like taken aback by this because as a restorative justice practitioner and trainer, it's one of the things I encourage people is how do we repair? How do we restore if possible? But more importantly, how do we recover without crisis? And the fact of the matter is that no one teaches us how to do this. As children, no one sits us down and says, if someone harms you, it doesn't mean that you have to throw them away. It might mean you need to reevaluate boundaries. You need to communicate expectations. You need to decide how this relationship goes. And so we become adults who think we know how to communicate, but often don't. So this 6-week series is an opportunity for us to focus on the relationships in our lives because humans evolve within relationship, never in isolation. So how we're engaging with others and how we're responding to others' engagement with ourselves is going to significantly impact your wellness, your goals, your overall peace that you might have in your home. So this 6-week series is going to focus on a couple of things. One, rebuilding trust. That comes up as a therapist when I think about every client that I have is they have trust issues and valid reasons for the trust issues that they have, but haven't figured out how to move themselves forward. The second thing we're going to focus on is communication. And I know you're like, I know how to talk. Yes, I'm sure you know how to speak, but do you know how to communicate your needs? Do you know how to communicate your desires, your dislikes in a healthy way that allows the other person to know what they can do and what they probably should not do? And then finally, we're going to talk about connection. Connection is key to any form of repair that you want to make. One of the worst things that people do when they're upset or frustrated or they feel misunderstood is they shut down. And they just say, it's not even worth it for me to talk about this. Let's just move on. And when you do that, you've disconnected from the person, whether that person is your business partner, is your friend, is your parent. And so that is a short-term tool that we utilize in order to help us restore a sense of safety in ourselves. And so we're going to examine healthier ways of connecting. What I'm really excited about with this particular series is I put a lot of time and energy into crafting the sessions. They're short 15 to 20 minute videos to kind of help you, just an introduction to give you some grounding into what is communication, what is boundary setting, how do we actually forgive with structured forgiveness. But I took it a step forward because I just really want you all to see this series as something that would be beneficial to your lives, not just something that you hear, but something that you can work on your own. So I developed the Repair Work Guide. It is an evidence-based guide to relational repair across all types of relationships. There are a total of there's 8 chapters, so technically like 8 separate lessons. And in each lesson is grounding information and then like gives you an overview of what we covered in the video, goes a little bit more in depth. And then there is a reflection page for you to actually try to practice the things that we've discussed, what you've read in the guide. So I'm really excited about it. It's only a 28-page guide. In order to get the guide, all you have to do is visit my website, humanarchitectstudio.com, submit your name and your email address, and you can download the guide for free. And it's a way for you, as we're going through each episode of the series, you can kind of tap in and go along with the information. So I'm really excited to cover this. I needed this for myself, which is why I started to do the research. But then as I continue to work with clients, as I have a business with employees, I have managers, I have direct service employees, I'm trying to manage them. I have stakeholders I deal with in order to grow the business. And then there are just the customers that we're trying to serve. And so thinking about how we engage better is always something I'm invested in as a leader, but also as just a human being myself who wants to make sure that the people I love, the people I do business with, the people I interact with, that I'm doing that in the most healthy and responsive way that I can. Remember, this is never about perfection. This is always about choosing to try, choosing to continue to try and to never give up. So I invite you to join me on this 6-week series. Every single episode will be released at, I believe, 10 a.m. on Mondays. But please check below to make sure that that's accurate. It'll be here. Please like it, comment. If you have questions, ask them. I will look at them from session to session, and then that will help me determine what the next series is going to be about. And, you can always get in contact with me through my website, humanarchitectstudio.com, if you'd like a coaching session, or if you would like a training for your staff, or you need program development. Like, that's what the purpose of this is all about. So yeah, welcome to 2026, and let's get busy on doing the repair work.